to another Ross Reviews, where today we are sitting in a 2005 FPV GT. And you just gotta love these quad cam VA cars. Big, Aussie, family sedan, muscle cars. This thing is a 6-speed manual. It's in immaculate condition. And this car is just a joy to get out on the open road. Now, this particular GT is completely stock, besides having a custom exhaust, and it does have an intake and a tune. Now, this tune is very basic. It's pushing out now 383 wheel horsepower, which essentially gives its stock numbers to the wheels. And it does make this thing feel pretty healthy, I gotta say. Under that beautiful bonnet bulge, of course, we do have the 5.4 liter Boss 290. This thing made 290 kilowatts from factory, about 520 Newton meters. This thing is a beautiful engine in my mind. You know, a lot of people do consider it a slug, but you gotta think this car is a GT. It's an FPV GT. It's not a sports car. This is a family car that's being turned into a muscle car, and it is just an awesome cruiser, this thing. And it sounds bloody good when you get this exhaust going. This particular one has only got 80,000 Ks on it, and it drives like a brand new car, it really does. Oh yeah, it's good. You get out of it. That tune really does help this car tremendously. You know, driving a standard Boss 290 versus driving this, you can feel the difference. I've previously been in a GT with the Boss 302, so that was an extremely rare engine option that the later cars got. This already feels more healthy, it definitely does, and I would highly recommend to anyone who's got one of these Boss engines to go and give it a tune, because it will awaken it a lot. Now, this being the BA, being the Series 2, it did get a couple of nice upgrades that the original BAs didn't get. So this has the 6-speed manual gearbox, the T56, and it's phenomenal. I really enjoy shifting the gears in this. You know, it is a little bit tall, but it's nothing a short shifter wouldn't fix for you. And it really does go through the gears really nicely, this car. It's easy to drive, the clutch is smooth. It's just a very easy, comfortable car to drive. You also did get an upgraded fascia here, so this is actually exactly the same that's in my BF Typhoon. So, you know, you get the upgraded color screen here and the nicer fascia there, which was a pretty decent upgrade. The Series 2 also did get the gauges above that little screen. So we do have your oil pressure and your oil temperature up there, which, you know, it does give it a cool look at least. Now, these GTs, when they first came out, it would set you back about 70 grand. And, you know, that was a fair chunk of change back in the day, but I gotta say, these cars are extremely special. Nowadays, on the used market, the value has started to come up again massively. And now, you're gonna pick one of these up, a BA Series 2 GT, you're gonna be looking around $35,000 to $45,000. And if you've got one with extremely low Ks in excellent condition, such as this one, you know, there are people out there asking $60,000 to $80,000. So it's definitely on the up. Now, make sure you go and hit that big red subscribe button and click the bell notifications so you get updated on all our weekly uploads, where we're constantly getting in high-performance enthusiast cars and a lot of Aussie cars. This BA, she's a treat. It's a sweet beast, this car. You just get it on this nice open road, lay into it a bit. Oh, it's nice. It is nice. It's so satisfying and almost crucial to have this 6-speed manual, especially in the V8s. I've always said that if you got a V8, you need a manual because you lose a lot of connection when you go into the automatic. I found an article from 2005 from the Car Guide saying that the automatic in the GT is the superior gearbox and you need to have the automatic. Well, let me tell you, they're wrong. They're 100% wrong. You need the 6-speed manual in this thing. The quad cam V8 in these GTs, it's just so perfectly suited to this 6-speed manual. It really is. A T56, it shifts nicely, easy to get into gear. It's a beautiful combination. These cars, they just grow on you. They do. You know, a lot of people will give this car crap and they'll say it's a boat, it's slow, it's a barge, whatever. And I'll tell you, they're wrong because, yeah, it may be a big car, it may be boaty at times, but you got to think what this car is built for. It's a cruiser and it's a GT car. This thing isn't a sports car like some people think it is. Just getting this thing out on an old country road, it's so satisfying, and we don't need to be doing 1,000,000 miles an hour. You know, we're just cruising the speed limit out here, and it's such a good feeling. This is more from that older school era of cars where it was more about the feel, it was more about the sound, the connection to the car. It wasn't how quick this thing does 0 to 100 and how much horsepower it has. It's totally different. Nowadays, no one wants to look at it unless you got over, 1,000,000 horsepower and you can do 0 to 100 in 3 seconds. These cars were from that different era, and this is just about nice driving. Got that soundtrack, the 6-speed manual, the dying 6-speed MT. This is just good old school car. It is. And just gonna get a little bit of sound here. Oh yeah. That custom exhaust the owner has put on, it sounds really good. I gotta say, it's not outrageous, but you can still hear this thing quite well inside the cab, which I love that. You need to hear this thing to be fun, to be engaging, and you can. And it's got a nice solid tone to it. It's not ridiculously loud like my old XR8 was. This thing is just nice. One of the really interesting things about this car is got to be the clock. We got to take mention of this clock again because it's just like my Typhoon, the stupidest thing in the world that these cars don't have a clock in their little instrument cluster in the center console here, because they put it up on the roof, this totally aftermarket looking cheap thing up on the roof that almost 99% of the cars don't have anymore. So the fact that we do have one in this GT is super rare and lovely to see. The other crazy thing, again, with all FPVs, besides the F6X, which we did previously review, is the push-button start fiasco, because you got to use a key, you got to turn the key, and then it doesn't do anything. You got to push the button. It's a stupid system. I say it in every of these FPVs I get into. I don't know why they did it that way. They should have just used a keyless remote. And even on the interior here, look, a lot of people find this a big negative with these cars, but I don't mind it. And the more this thing ages, the more I kind of like it even more. It's just simple in here. Nothing's crazy fancy, but it's all you need. You know, you got your radio, your climate control, seats are comfortable, big back seats, big boot in this car. You want to transport your mates, you can do it. And especially when you get in well-kept models like this one, it actually does feel kind of nice in here. You know, it's nostalgic feeling, but the fact that everything is still so clean and not destroyed, it does give you a nice feel in here. Now, 0 to 100, guys, we got to test it. It is a manual, so, you know, look, don't give me too much grief. It is a little bit damp, the road today as well. I don't actually know what this thing's going to get. I would guess around like 7 seconds, but that's just because it's a manual. Let's see anyways here. So we're going to leave traction control on just because it's a bit damp. And yeah, let's go. So. Oh, you're right. The alarm does work. I take it back. I did think this thing had an alarm, and it does. That felt pretty good. Like, we did lose a bit of traction at the start, and I could have probably launched it a little bit harder there, but let's have a look at the draggy here and see what we did get. 6.8 seconds, so just under what I guessed. That's pretty good. I gotta say, my F6 Typhoon ran a 6.1, and you know, look, that was in the auto. So running our own gears, that's pretty impressive. I reckon if you gave it a harder launch on a dry road without traction control, you're probably gonna get this thing close to 6 seconds, I would say. That's pretty impressive. These cars are just something about them. It's just that feel of power under your right foot, that torque. And it's not even about going fast in this car. It's that sensation of the pedal and just that noise, the rumble. This car gives you all those feelings, it really does.
Simply put, the B Series GTs are from a simpler time, before the 0 to 100 wars and the ridiculous assumptions now that you have to have a stupid amount of horsepower to have fun. This BA GT is all about the drive, the sound, and how the car just connects with you in such a raw, unassisted way that modern cars have truly lost. Yes, this quad cam V8 isn't the fastest, and yes, to modify these in a noticeable way, it takes more than most. But when you're in that driver's seat, cruising a country road, changing your own gears, hearing that Boss V8 roar, nothing, and I mean nothing, can wipe that smile off your face. Thanks for watching.